Hello guys, so time for part 2 of my driveway renovation. It's been a little while since the first one, and the reason for that is that couldn't get hold of the blocks I needed, so I've had to wait. Throw into the equation as well, I did put my back out whilst doing all that digging and mixing of concrete by myself. Not 21 anymore. The back finally said no. For the best part of 2 weeks I did nothing because I was in a bit of pain. Anyway, fortunately that sorted itself out. So I should be taking delivery of the blocks today and progress can then continue. Show you what I've done up until now. So here we go. Right, so all the boulder is now in, along with the French gully or drainage channel, whatever you want to call that. So all the new boulder bricks are in, all the way around to there. As you can see, the skipper's now gone. My wife has taken care of a bit of planting. The flower bed has been sorted. We've got some nice stuff in there on display, so you get to see how it will all look eventually. And now it's just left for me to put the blocks in here. As you can see, I've put in a recessed drain cover here. There you go, there's the old drain. Takes the rainwater from the roof there. I've tried to set that as square to the boulder bricks as possible, so the measurement from here to the edge of this boulder brick here, here to here, here to there, and there is as equal as I can make it, so then I should get nice straight lines with my blocks. The only thing that I've got a bit of an issue with is that there's a bit of a bow to these sides of these trays and on this one, so I'm going to try and straighten it out a bit. Now to do that, what I'm going to do is I'm going to put these bits of wood here and on here, and then using this bit of wood I'm going to knock that into there, spread them two apart, pushing these bowed edges out, and then with a heat gun I'm going to gently heat up the plastic whilst it's pushed out, and hopefully when it cools it will dry in the same place. No idea whether it'll work, but it's worth a go. I'll let you know how that goes. The other thing to show you is my tampering beam that I've made. So here you can see at this end I've made this setup of bits of wood so that the tampering beam will set my mortar at just the right level, so that I can then put a block straight onto the bedding mortar and the blocks will match perfectly level with the boulder bricks. So it's at that end and at that end. I just put my bedding mix along there, and then just tamper it down like that, and then the blocks go straight on. Well, can you believe it? The blocks have actually arrived and I've actually started to make some progress. Would you look at that? Right, let me show you how I actually do it. Okay, so this is where we're at. The vast majority of the block work is now in, As you can see, that's one complete edge along there. The drain is in. I've just got to do the actual blockwork inside the drain, but around the edge is all done. Just got to do this one row here, which is approximately going to be about 11 centimeters. So I've just got to do a row with cut down blocks that goes in there, and then along this edge I've just got all the cuts to go in. Now my method for doing this is I've got all the blocks here cut. For instance, this one here is number 1. That goes into number 1 slot there. What I've actually done is, I cut them too big. As you can see that they don't match up. But what I do is I cut a groove into there with the angle grinder. I'll set that in there like that, along with all the others that will be oversized compared to the ones that might neighbour them. And then once they're set in place, all nice and firm, I'll take the angle grinder and grind a nice straight line all the way along there, because to individually measure and cut each block in order to get it to meet here and here is very time consuming, and I found this way to be much better. Once that's all done, once that's all in place, I can then use the brushing resin grit joint stuff, and yeah, it'll all be finished. Following that, it's just a case of brushing in the kiln dried sand into these joints, and then finally the project will be completely finished. Right, so here is my recessed drain cover. This is the insert part, and this is a Clark drain CD 300 SR, so it's rated to 3 ton of weight, but just to be on the safe side, I'm going belt and braces, and I've got myself this mild steel plate which is 5mm, and I am going to cut that down and set it in the bottom of there, and then set my blocks in there, and I think that will guarantee that that drain will easily take any domestic car traffic on it. Okay, so now we've got the basic size cut out. We just need to cut out for the handles here and here. But what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to unscrew them, take the handles out, because the bottom is actually a smaller cut out than the top, so there's no point cutting all of that out. I only need it to go around that smaller part there. Now you can see that's come out, so I only have to cut around this smaller bit. the plate cut out to size and for those keyholes, and let's just see whether it fits. Slide that in there, drop that in there, and there you are. And there, have a nice steel plate at the bottom. Lovely jubbly. I think I'll drill a few holes in the corners for drainage purposes, and then that'll be good. Okay, so now I've got my steel plate. It's been cut to size, and the notches cut out for the handles inside the tray. I've given it a coat of cold spray galvanizing paint, giving it a few coats to give it some form of protection whilst it's sat in that tray. I mean, it's going to corrode to some degree, but hopefully not that quickly. Now all I've got to do is put this inside there. I can then put the handle back in. So obviously with the handle in, I won't get that steel plate in, otherwise I would have to cut out bigger notches. So let's get this back in there. Okay, so the bottom of the tray isn't exactly perfectly flat. One, it's got some mouldings in there, some like reinforcement protrusions, and there's a slight bit of distortion. So when you put the plate in like this, see there's a bit of rock. Now to get around that, I'm effectively going to put like a bit of levelling compound in the bottom. I'm going to use a bit of cement slurry. I'm going to mix up some cement, just cement powder, thin, like a very thin slurry, pour it in the bottom, set the plate on that to take up that slack. Because what I don't want to happen is put the block work in there, it appears to be all alright, and then a car drives over it, and obviously the car's going to push the blocks down that 1 or 2 millimetre on whichever side of the high point there is, and it's going to move. So I just want to eliminate that. Okay, so all of the big mortar joints in the block paving or the pavers is done with resin brushing, and now it's just to put in the dry brushing sand in the joints. As you can see, look, there's gaps here. This needs to be filled with traditionally a kiln dried sand. I actually use this stuff. This stuff here by Dan Sand. It's like crushed granite, another brick residue. It's got a nice dark colour. It's also got some inhibitor in it to stop weeds from growing. So here you can see there's a joint that needs filling, and these are the joints that I've filled. In an ideal world, everything would be absolutely bone dry. It's as dry as it can be on the surface, but as you can see, the moisture is getting drawn out from low deep down. So to apply it, I just put it in something like this, and I just try and pour it into the joints as best as possible. Try and encourage it to go all the way down deep, like so, and then with a soft brush I just brush it in back and forth across the joints, like so, until such time as the joint fills up, and then that will weather in. Some of it will sink down with a bit of rainfall, and then a few weeks time I'll just do another coating just to backfill the joint again, and then ever so often you just have to do a bit of maintenance just by filling the joints up. So at long last I can do the big reveal. The drain is now complete, all the joints are brushed in, and you can see it in all its glory. This truly has been a labour of love, and I'm very, very pleased with the way it's turned out. As ever, thank you very much for watching. Please check out some of my other videos. Please subscribe and hit the notification bell, and I shall see you again very soon.